In this video, I'm unboxing the most expensive spec book I've ever purchased. This video is brought to you by MySlabs.com.
The platform designed by collectors for collectors just got even better. MySlabs.com is proud to now feature dedicated sections for both raw cards and raw comic books. Browse over 100,000 slab collectibles, authenticated by the industry's most trusted grading companies. Then check out a massive selection of sealed wax and now raw singles and raw lots. Join a passionate, no-nonsense community of nearly 50,000 members and enjoy some of the best buyer and seller protection in the business. And as always, MySlabs offers one of the most disruptive pricing models in the hobby, with seller fees as low as only 1%. So the next time you're forced to pay 10%, 20% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com, the low-fee marketplace by collectors for collectors.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, I am unboxing the most expensive spec book I've ever purchased for myself. A $1,000 spec book. I mean, I didn't actually spend exactly $1,000. I'll tell you the exact amount I spent later on in the video, but I'm going to be unboxing this huge grail here today. But before I get into the video, if you guys could drop me a like or comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, helps support the channel, do one of those things, I would appreciate it. But let us get into the fun stuff here and let us unbox this grail. And one of the things I think is really cool about this purchase that I have here in this video is that, I made that video the other week where I was talking about, is the comic book market crashing? And while I don't necessarily think that the comic book market is crashing, what I did kind of emphasize in that video is that, if we are entering a bear market, so to speak, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to buy really great books out there in the market. There's going to be deals to be had. There's going to be sellers that are willing to work with you. And I happen to be browsing Instagram, and there was a particular account, Instagrails, which is, shout out to Instagrails. Is a great account. You should definitely follow them if you want to see, hot books and big books that are always being up for sale. And they posted this particular book up for sale. And when they posted the price, I was like, I could not believe what was being asked for it. I thought it was such a fair, competitive price. And this is a book that, even though I've always wanted this in my collection, like it wasn't one that I was necessarily targeting. But when I saw, the book being charged at that value, I was like, how could I say no to that price right there? And it wasn't even just that they were offering a competitive price. I actually, sent in a little bit lower of an offer, and they were willing to take it. And that, just to emphasize what I was talking about with the, the video I put out last week is that, if this is a bear market and you are a buyer, you have, the advantage in this situation. You can make those offers and get competitive deals from the sellers who just want to move their books. And if you are lucky, like I was with this one, you can get a really, really good deal. So I'm just kind of filling up time here. And yeah, let me just pull this out. And I really did get a good deal for this book. Oh, yes. All right, so this is a character that I have been kind of speculating on for a little bit of time. This wasn't a book that I necessarily thought would end up in my collection, but it was something that, hey, like you always keep an open mind, you always look out for those deals. And this, to me, could be one of the biggest characters eventually in the MCU. And without further ado, let me show you guys the book I picked up. I picked up a CBCS Marvel Spotlight number 5, 3.5 signature series, first appearance of Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, signed by Roy Thomas. Of course, this is a character that was created by Mike Ploog and Gary Friedrich, and Roy Thomas also had a initial credit on this one, and he signed it right there. And this is an awesome book. This is such a cool one to have in the collection. I mean, I think Ghost Rider is, sometimes I think as collectors forget that there was a time in comic book collecting, say in the Copper Age, where Steven, I think, who watches my videos, always says this in the comments, and shout outs to him, where he always says, back then there were two kinds of collectors. There were the ones who collected Wolverine, Punisher, and Ghost Rider, and then there was everybody else, because at that time, Wolverine, Punisher, and Ghost Rider were the bee's knees as far as the most popular characters out there. And I think just over time, like the brand of Punisher and Ghost Rider kind of fell off a little bit, but the brand of Wolverine actually really continued to rise. And I think with the opportunity that it lies in front of us with the MCU for characters like Ghost Rider or Punisher, there is a huge opportunity for these characters' books to go up in value. And this one right here I got for what I thought was an amazing price. I mean, it's a 3.5 grade. It's not the best. Definitely has, a little tape pull there, which is definitely not the best, but at the same time, like, who cares? Like, to me, for what I got this book, I thought it was such a good deal. And it's a signature series to boot. And I've actually never owned a CBCS case. Now, this is also a book that, I mentioned that I'm sort of speccing on this book. Like, I would love to hold this thing, but let's say we get Ghost Rider, in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. He shows up in that film, and this book's prices go to ridiculous amounts of dollars. There is definitely a price. There is a price for me with this book. I might be willing to let go of it, but if he doesn't show up, I'm happy to have this in my collection anyways. There are a few other things I'd love to discuss about this book. We could talk about, the signature series and how those affect the values. Maybe I should do my own video about that. Now that I have a CBCS book, I can comment on, CBCS versus CGC. You guys know me, I'm not like a big graded book person, but I think that there is an interesting discussion to be had. But I think what I want to do for the rest of the video is talk about the exact price that I paid for this book and why I felt it was so competitive, especially compared to what recently this book has been sold for. And then also compare it to some of the other characters that, I kind of compare to Ghost Rider and see, if we can make any determinations of why I think that this is such a great character to spec on. So if I go over to the GPA, we'll go down to the 3.5 grade right here, and we'll see that the 90-day moving for this thing is actually 1,196. Now, it is interesting to think about this book and what I got for it, being that it is a CBCS book. I mean, do we, the market, value CBCS less than that of CGC? That could definitely be the case, and that could be one of the reasons why I got such a competitive price on this book. But the fact that it is signed by Roy Thomas, I think gives it that little bit of an edge. So, due to the fact that like maybe if people devalue the book or my particular book because it's a CBCS book, I think that value is offset by the fact that it has that signature on it. So 30-day moving average for this book has been 1196. Over the 1 year, it's been 1156. So, kind of trading right around where it's been. It's always been kind of an $1,100 book. And then even in last year, towards the end of the year, it was selling at the $985 level. One of the things I think is interesting is to compare it against, some other books in the Bronze Age at that grade level in the market. There, of course, is Werewolf by Night number 32. This is the first appearance of Moon Knight, obviously another hot book. Here we see the 3.5 grade selling at the $1,256 range as the 90-day moving, $1,244 for the 1 year, and $1,230 in the time period before that. So again, higher than that of Ghost Rider. And then here, ASM number 129, first appearance of the Punisher. Let's go down to the 3.5 grade level just to see where we're at with these prices. 30-day moving, $1,286, 1 year, $1,269, and the time before that, $1,182. So again, these are all prices that are more expensive than what I paid for Ghost Rider, and that makes me excited because again, I'm not saying that Ghost Rider is more popular than Punisher or Moon Knight, but I think Ghost Rider has the potential to be as popular as those characters. And then even here, Tomb of Dracula number 10, first appearance of Blade. If we go down here to the 3.5 grade, we'll see 1,034 for the 30-day moving, 971 for the 12-month moving here, and then 786 the time before. So 971, I think, to me, is a really good floor to evaluate Ghost Rider up against Blade. I mean, I think Blade definitely has the potential to, be more popular than Ghost Rider, but I think as for now, I'd say in terms of comic book collectors' eyes, Ghost Rider is probably more popular. And seeing that the moving average for Blade was 971, it makes me feel really confident because I actually only paid $935 for this book, which to me was a great deal. Like, I feel like my entry point into this book was a really safe one, and I feel very confident that, if in fact we get him in the MCU and he becomes the character that he could become, there's definitely a high ceiling for this book to go up in value. Well, that's all for this video. That was me unboxing my most expensive spec book I've ever purchased for myself. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about Ghost Rider? I think that this this character can be huge. I think I should do a couple other videos talking about signature series books. Maybe I can talk about CBCS versus CGC. What do you guys think about that comparison? Do you guys have your own biases with those particular slabs? Anyways, that's all for this video. Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will see you in the next one.